Now, last week I've received a message from Proton asking me if I would like to drive the Proton Iriz for a week, and obviously I had to say yes because I've always been a big fan of the Proton Iriz itself because it's so uniquely Proton. It's not like nowadays with newer Proton, they're just rebadged version of other cars, which is not that refreshing to see. This one you get to see how they actually use their creativity to design the exterior and the interior, which in my opinion looks very good. So yeah, in today's video I'm gonna share my honest review of my 1 week ownership with this car. Let's go. Okay, firstly, let me give you a brief introduction of the car itself. So the Proton Iriz was launched all the way back in 2014, and over the years they have received changes, updates, revision up until 2021, and that's when they received the major update. Basically, you have a major facelift on the exterior, on the interior. There are a lot of changes, which is this car right here. And now they have 3 different variants to choose from. You got a standard, which costs around 43,000 ringgit. You got an executive, and you have the top of the range variant. The active, which costs you 57,000 ringgit. So the base standard version uses a 1.3 litre engine, whereas the other two uses a 1.64 cylinder engine that produces around 109 horsepower and 150 Newton meters of torque, and is mated to a punch CVT. Alright, so now done with all the technical side of things, let's talk about the design of the car itself. In terms of styling, firstly, let's talk about the color itself. Because the 2021 facelifted version, they've introduced 2 new colors to the lineup. One will be citric orange, which is a deep dark orange color that looks kind of unique and cool. The second will be this, the passion red, which in my opinion, very fitting on this car. It looks very striking. Alright, you also have new headlights now. You can see it's much sleeker. It's fully LED, just like on the Persona. You got all this grille that's all blacked out to give it extra sportiness. You got an infinite weave badge and also this red color pinstripe, just like the X50. And then you can see the lower end here, the mouth is finished in this satin chrome, just to give it a more rugged look. And towards the side, you can see now you have these LED daytime running lights. Yeah, the front actually looks very good. What do you guys think? Alright, so as you head towards the side, now this is when things start to get a little bit more controversial, I would say, because just like the Mazda CX-30, right, when it first launched, everyone hated the massive plastic cladding around the fender, around the side. But over the years, people start to appreciate them, start to grow on them, and that is why you see now a lot of people is actually buying a Mazda CX-30. Same goes for this car as well. Initially, I didn't really like the design because yeah, it looks very cheap, but slowly after spending a week with it, right, I actually kind of get used to it and I kind of like it. And the reason why they did this, right, is just to give it a more rugged crossover look, which they definitely did. Alright, so in terms of the wheels, you now have 16-inch wheels. The Myvi, you can only get 15. So it's nice to see this one, you get 16-inch. And the design is also not too bad. You got this multi-spoke with some parts finished in diamond cut, some part finished in dark grey. Yeah, kind of cool. And then head towards the side. Another funny thing, right, I realized, right, is you see this part here? Because they want to make this round shape, right, they have to stick this piece on the door itself. You see, if I open the door, right, it stick together on the door. Yeah, which doesn't look that good, but they have to do it anyways. Okay, now as you head towards the back, I particularly love the back design as well, because the back design, right, if you take a look like this, right, you can see the way it actually extends out, right, the body, right, yeah, it gives you the stance, which is kind of nice. Okay, and then you also have this rear spoiler finished in gloss black. The way it extends out, you have 2 holes here. Yeah, it looks very sporty. You got the tail lights. The tail lights is very flat. It's LED. You got this black color piece that runs across towards the side, and you now no longer have the Proton emblem. Instead, you have the Proton lettering. You got the active, okay, Iriz. I like how they actually put the R in red color. Yeah, for extra sportiness. Yeah, those are the attention to detail. Alright, if I were to open the boot, lift it up, and this reveals the boot space. Now, the boot space on this car is smaller than the Perodua Myvi, but it works because if you're buying a car like this, right, you expect a boot space to be this small, because if you want bigger one, you go for the Persona because that's a sedan. Yeah, but if you remove this tonner cover, right, you can actually put 2 tall stuff inside. Okay, so yeah, you also have a spare tire down there. Alright, so now let's close this back down and let's check out the interior. To enter the car, you have to press this button. Just give it a press. The car automatically unlocks. You have auto folding side mirror, which is always nice. Obviously, it'd be much better if you have a keyless entry, but this is a kind of old car, so you don't have that. Anyways, let's check out the interior. So the interior is very refreshing. So this is done by Proton, and personally, I prefer this over the Myvi, because the Myvi is literally, they just splash red everywhere. The seats are red, the dashboard are all red in color. But for this car, they very neatly placed the red on just different areas, and it's not too much. For example, you can see the vents there, you can see some red color here on the side, red color stitching on the steering wheel, red color surrounds there. Even the center console, you have a bit of red. And I particularly love this, on the door card itself, you have this active word finished in red stitched on it. You also have very sporty pedals. The seats also, this is here's leather, and then here's fabric. You got this very unique design, finished in red color stitching as well. Now these seats are actually very comfortable, I'm surprised, and it hugs you well as well, the side bolstering. Okay, so now let's take a seat inside and let's just start the car. Let me just close the door. Okay, so the interior, right, I actually find this interior very good, because firstly, right, just take a listen at this, right, when I lock and unlock the car, right, let me just turn off the AC and unlock. Yeah, the sound is like German cars when they unlock and lock, right. Yeah, it's a very mechanical feel to it. Yeah, I just love that sound. I can just keep pressing it all day. Alright, that's one. The second thing, right, is basically they want to make the car very German feel. So if you want to open the car, just like in BMW or Mercedes, you have to press once to unlock it, then to open the door. That's the second thing. The third one is they basically place the signal stock on the left side, just like the Mercedes and BMW. Yeah, those are the neat little details which, if you drive long enough, you actually kind of appreciate them. Alright, so you can see the speedometer. You also have red color circular dials around. It's very self-explanatory. In the middle here, this is where you have your information. Okay, there's not much you can control using this right here, this button. You press here. Okay, oh, now you can't. Now you can see. So yeah, you have a few things you can go through. Distance to empty, journey time, average speed and all that. Okay, so you also have this screen right here. Now this screen, my first complaint would be, you can see it's so reflective. You can't see on a sunny day. Alright, even though now, right, it's not that sunny, right, you can't really see anything. So it'd be much better if there's this anti-reflective coating on the screen itself, because yeah, you literally can't see anything. And also this car doesn't have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but instead there's an eSIM. Basically, you can go internet on its own system. You have, instead of having Spotify, you have Jukes. Alright, and then instead of using Waze, they have this built-in navigation system, which obviously nobody uses it, right? But good effort to them to have their own thing. You also have high Proton feature, which you can command to wind down windows and all, which is, you can see. Yeah, so those are the things. And then at the bottom here, you can see, you can control the aircon, which is actually quite nice, quite tactile. You can change the aircon. Yeah, then here you have all the modes, right? Then inside here, you got a slot to put your phone. So basically, you can just put your phone inside here. And you have not one, not two, not three. So these are all 3 USB ports. Like but phone isn't connected. Another one at the back of the rear view mirror. So this one's connected to a dash cam, which they place there because it's convenient for you. Okay, which is nice of them. Then you got the gear shifter, which is very normal. This area is all finished in piano black, which is prone to scratching. You can see a lot of scratches already. You got space here to put your stuff. Right, handbrake. This one's kind of flimsy, but you can put your armrest here on long distance journey. It's more comfortable. Opening up, reveal some space inside, a cigarette socket. Yeah, in terms of the interior space, right, I feel it's actually not too bad for the price you're paying for. Okay, in terms of the rear seats, right, there's nothing much to talk about other than you can fit 2 adult-sized person comfortably, one on that side, one on this side. If you want to fit 3 person, it's a bit too cramped. You won't be that comfortable unless you say 3 small-sized person, right? Then that one is okay. You also have 2 USB port there as well, so which makes it a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So there are 6 USB ports in this car alone. Okay, in terms of driving, right, so I've driven this car for a week now, all the way to Banting and back a few times, and all I can say is this car has actually more than enough power for its size. Okay, but the only thing is at low speed, right, when you want to accelerate, you press on the pedal, it takes some time. It has some slight delay before it starts to go forward, but then it's much better now as compared to the old Proton Iriz. So that one actually has a very delay sensation, but then for this it's much better now. And if let's say you pedal to metal, the RPM straight away go to 6k RPM, which is kind of cool. So if you want power, you just pedal to metal, it straight away rev all the way up to the maximum and it goes forward. Yeah, the another thing would be the engine noise. The engine noise is actually kind of loud, and you're driving at high speed, the engine noise is loud, and then you also have a lot of wind noise around the side as well, which is not that nice. And another thing I would like to praise this car would be the handling and cornering ability of this car. This car is so stable, alright, when you corner, right? Because I've always heard people say Proton's handling is one of the best, and I only heard any because I never really driven a Proton. But after driving this car, right, the handling and cornering, right, you can just whack at every corner. Yeah, it literally gives you, especially with this steering as well. I think this one is an electric power steering. Yeah, even though it's electric, right, it's actually, you don't feel very detached. It's actually quite responsive and quite connected as well. So when you corner, when you turn left, it actually goes left and right, very immediate, yeah, which is nice of this car. So yeah, in terms of handling and cornering, right, this car is definitely spot on. So yeah, that's my 1 week ownership of the Proton Iriz Active. So yeah, huge thanks to Proton for providing me this car to drive for a week. I really learned a lot about this car as well. I've always wanted to film an Proton Iriz, and now I have the opportunity to do so. So yep, thank you to them. And to you guys, what do you guys think? Do you guys prefer this car, or do you guys prefer the Proton Myvi? That's the big question. I leave that up to you guys.